everyone, welcome back to my next video. Today we are going to have a class from Homes on Wheels Alliance at the virtual RTR 2021. And so I think you're going to really enjoy it. And with me is Sue Ann Carlson, the executive director of Homes on Wheels Alliance, who did an awful lot of the work, amazing amount of work, on putting this all together. So, Sue Ann, tell us about a little bit about what's going on here.
So from January 14th to January 21st, 2021, we have online RTR and women's RTR classes that will be offered on the Homes on Wheels Alliance YouTube channel. But what we're doing is we're taking those and doing a condensed version of them and moving them over to the Cheap RV Living YouTube channel. And that's what you're watching here.
So this is a monetized channel, but all the money that you make by watching the videos, you're going to make me money by watching the videos, all of that money will be forwarded to, from now on and forever, will be forwarded to Homes on Wheels Alliance. So I'm not making any money on this. It will be a contribution to Homes on Wheels Alliance. Now, because this is a condensed version, there's a whole version on the Homes on Wheels Alliance YouTube channel. And if you go there, you'll see the whole thing, including questions and answers afterwards. So while this is condensed, you can see the whole thing by going to Homes on Wheels Alliance. And how will they find that?
In your YouTube channel search bar, type in Homes on Wheels Alliance, and it will come up.
So once you go to the channel, or this channel, Cheap RV Living, there will be a playlist that says RTR, Virtual RTR 2021. And so you can see all the classes there in order and see them all at once. So next, we're going to play the video of the class, and I hope you enjoy it and learn a lot from it, and we'll see you at the end of the video.
I'm Sue Ann Carlson, Director of Homes on Wheels Alliance and the founder of the Women's RTR. Today's topic is basic vehicle maintenance and a special add-on, which is going to be basic tire maintenance. Today's presenter is Charlene Bauer. Please, at your leisure, check out her websites. They're down below in the description. It is Ladies Off-Road Network and Bauer Media. She's in a studio, but she does travel around in her Class A RV and teaches classes as well. With that, I'm pleased to turn you over in Charlene's very capable hands.
I want to introduce myself really fast. I'm Charlene Bauer. I have worked in the off-road industry for over 27 years. Off-road meaning everything from dirt bikes to UTVs to ATVs to Jeeps. And I gotta tell you, my first ever vehicle that I drove back and forth to high school was a van. Most of the time, the questions that come up are, hey, Charlene, how often do I change my oil? Or what kind of oil do I use? Or when do I do this? Or when do I do that? Handy dandy owner's manual is where I'm going to send you, because every single vehicle is different. And it actually gives me a maintenance chart. So always refer to your owner's manual. Get a maintenance log for yourself as well and start it so that you can understand, okay, I do need to change my oil now, or I do need to change this now. So here's some ideas of how an engine works. Really, Charlene, you're going to talk about how an engine works? This is over my head. I'm like, okay, hold on. Give me a second. Let's give it a shot. Power, fuel and air, and oil. And then fuses, we're just going to jump onto those for a minute because, well, half the time, that's really the challenge. We got to go somewhere. We got to have some power. So we're going to talk about batteries in a second. So fuel and air comes in to the cylinder. Cylinder is inside your engine. Fuel and air comes inside into the cylinder, into the intake. The piston goes up and down inside the cylinder. As that fuel and air comes in, the piston goes up and down and kaboom, creates a combustion. The combustion hits the spark plug right there. And boom, combustion keeps going, and we have power. Let's just go with that, all right? So we're going to talk about fuel and air, because you can tell right now, fuel and air is what really matters. And then we have to have oil. Oil is the lifeblood of what's going on. Oil is going to make sure that everything is lubricated as it's going through. Okay, so batteries. Batteries are the heart of your operation. When you're going to go buy a battery, or if you have a problem with the battery, you have a date code on your battery. Sometimes they're cute little stickers that have the date on it. Those are the simple ones. Sometimes you have to like look at these little punch cards that are on top of the battery. Batteries do have a life. They only live for a couple of years or so. Especially if you're going to buy a battery, look at the date code on it. Why would I want to buy a battery that's 2 or 3 years old? Also, that will help you analyze if you have a battery that's going dead. Is it time to replace it or not? If it's a couple years old, you consistently are losing charge, it's time to replace it, ladies. That's just the reality. This is something that a lot of people kind of don't realize. Your battery is only helping you start the vehicle. Once your vehicle started, then the alternator is doing all the work. Now that alternator is going, it's running. Not only is it running the vehicle, but it's recharging the battery. The one that you're most familiar with is what's called a wet cell battery. SLI are the words that go with it. It's the starting, lighting, ignition. The wet cell batteries, they have acid in them. There's 2 tops on either side of the battery. You pop those tops off with a flathead screwdriver, and you can maintenance and see if your acid is still full. If it is not full, distilled water. If you put regular water into your battery, put regular water into your radiator, you're just putting minerals in there that are going to end up eating and affecting other things. You don't just want to try and pour it because, again, you probably have a bunch of debris on top of the battery and we don't want it all to go in. Just get like a little funnel cell battery too. And that's what we call a deep cycle battery. Deep cycle batteries, they're great for running accessories, but they're not the best at starting. So you're going to see them be called a marine battery most of the time. RVs use them. ATVs use them. They don't need a lot of starting power. They have a lot of accessory power that they're being able to use for. Newer batteries are called sealed batteries. They're AGM. They actually use like a glass format inside to contain all of the acid, all the battery acid. So you don't have to do anything to it. Much more expensive though. So those sealed batteries, even though they may be more expensive, it may be a great upgrade to something if you're having power challenges right now with your vehicle. Go ahead and upgrade to that. The people at the auto parts store will help you do that. When you are disconnecting and connecting your battery, pro tip, always disconnect the negative first. Disconnect the negative first, pull it off, make sure it does not touch anything, and then you disconnect your positive. I'd also say make sure you don't have any jewelry on. We are dealing with power. Some other things to consider if you're having power challenges, are the cables secure? Okay, so at some point in time, maybe you changed the battery or maybe something happened and it came untight. And so now the cables are just like a little loose. Corrosion. 2 little friends right here. It's very simple. Just get one of these wire brushes and some vinegar and go after it. Fuse box. There's one under the hood. There's one generally right underneath your steering wheel or somewhere as such. This is an example of what your fuse panel would look like or what you have inside of it. Air filters. Your vehicle is built to have a very specific amount of air and a very specific amount of fuel come in. If you have an air filter that gets clogged, we don't have enough air. If we allow dirt past our air filter and get it into the engine, now all of a sudden we got a whole nother set of issues. So maintaining and keeping your air filter clean is actually really important. Good news. Good news. Fuel filters are generally not on your maintenance list. Here is why I want to talk about fuel though, because fuel, we still have challenges with fuel. Debris in your gas. If you're that E person, come up to at least E, all right? And keep that sediment at the bottom of the tank. Let's not throw it through the system and into the vehicle. Fuel additives. There are a lot of fuel additives that are out in the market today. Injector cleaners, fuel stabilizers. There's a purpose and a reason for all of them. Do you need to use them? Depends on if you're having a challenge or not. You put in that can of injector cleaner as an example. It's cleaning that cylinder wall. It's cleaning the injector. It's getting all the gump, all of that bad gas, all of the everything that's kind of come through the air filter and getting it all cleaned out. A fuel stabilizer, that's one where if you're going to just park your vehicle for 6 months, put some fuel additive in it. That's going to keep it from, or excuse me, fuel stabilizer. That's going to keep it from maybe gumping up. Fuel octane. 92 is our high octane, right? 87, 85. That's what I'm talking about. When you go to the gas station, you have to pick 1, 2, or 3. High compression engines need high octane. So if you got a fancy car, you have to buy fancy gas. If you put a lower octane fuel into your fancy car, your engine is going to produce less power and you're going to get lower gas mileage. So if you have a lower style engine, like my Jeep as an example, I run 85. I don't need the high octane. I need the low octane. Here's a bearing. We got to keep all these little guys moving and doing everything. Look at this. It's all rusty on this side and it doesn't want to roll. That's what we don't want. So oil is our friend. Keeps everything pretty on the inside. So there's 2 things, ladies, that you need to stay on top of. 1 is your oil changes and 2 is your tires. So to check the level of your oil, you pull your dipstick out. And again, your dipstick's in different places on each one. Pull it out, you wipe it off. Then you're going to put the dipstick back in and pull it out for a second time. This is a really important technique. You do not read your oil on the first time. If it's at the low level, girl, you need to get some oil in there. But somewhere in the middle, we need to figure out what to do. You have a quart of oil and you go ahead and pour in some of that. And then of course you're going to check and make sure that you're full. You don't want to overfill. That's another problem. If your oil is low, clogged air filter can cause oil to burn more because it's working harder. The easy one is if there's a leak. The harder ones are the internals. But again, think about just the general maintenance. How long has it been since I changed my oil? Is the oil so sludgy and gross that it's not in there cleaning and maintaining everything effectively? And so the engine is having to work harder. And so now it's burning it. And then you're changing on a regular basis. This is a big deal. Big deal. Synthetic versus non-synthetic. Synthetic oil is refined. It's built. It has lower levels of friction and it has lots of additives in it, including cleaners. Generally speaking, you can have longer intervals of changing it. Non-synthetic oil is not refined. It is more of the conventional oil. We use the word conventional. So it's not going to have that cleaner in it. It's not going to have a lot of helpful tools in it. Is there anything wrong with it? No. You can flip back and forth between conventional and synthetic. If it only needs synthetic, please, ladies, just stick with synthetic. It's a very big deal. So here is a cutout of a tire. This is a BF Goodrich tire. And here is the inside. I think it's always really awesome to show you all the inside because it's something that you don't usually get to see. At what point do we need to replace those tires? Kick it with your foot. That's a great test of air. Keeping your tires aired up correctly on all 4 corners is actually really important. Keeping your tires aired up at the same consistency is actually really important. I look at my tires every time I get fuel. And I say, okay, how are they wearing across the edge? Are they wearing flat, or is it wearing to where it's starting to bow? I've seen them where sometimes just this one side is starting to wear. If you're starting to see just one side wear, then you have a alignment challenge. Your tires give you a lot of information if you're looking at them properly. This is a sipe. This is for an all-terrain tire. But some companies only cut their sipes to halfway through the tire block. So if your tire blocks start getting worn down and all of a sudden you can't see your sipes anymore, you now have a completely different tire on your hands. So the sidewalls of your tires are really important, especially as you're dealing with heavy vehicles. Well, the more and more and more weight that you put in your vehicle, the more and more and more pressure that you're actually putting on the sidewall of your tire. Do I need to fill up my tires more if I put more weight in? So the thicker your sidewall is, the more security that you will have. And then, of course, your tread pattern is also important. Your sidewall is really important as far as thickness goes. So your little car, like your little Mazda car that might be sitting out front, you may have 9 to 12 layers ish of thickness here of things. There's all kinds of stuff that goes into tires that you don't even realize goes into tires. Always consider the amount of stuff that you're putting in and the load that you're putting on your tires as well. Yes, you do need to change your spark plugs along the way. It's also a maintenance item, and it's also in your maintenance. Again, you can go to Ladies Off-Road Network, and I do have a very significant education master list that you can join in with. It continues to grow all the time. We are doing a lot of fun education on Bauer Academy that will be coming out this year. So you can go to Bauer Academy and sign up for our mailing list. And so as I launch it, I will let you know. We're in that phase at the moment. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is Engine Basics.
That was some very good teaching. I think you got a lot out of it. But this was a condensed version. So to see the entire thing, including questions and answers, where do they need to go?
You can go to the Homes on Wheels Alliance YouTube channel. In your search bar, just type in Homes on Wheels Alliance and it'll come up.
And once there will be a playlist there of all the RTR videos in their entire length. So there'll be a lot more info there than this condensed version. Well, I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, like us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up button, and we'll talk to you later.